Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Ted Chan, and on behalf of the board of the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation, I would like to welcome you all from the media, as well as the Friends of the Foundation, here and in person, as well as on our live stream through YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We have a number of exciting speakers today, and we will have time for questions at the end. For those of you who are online, you can ask a question by commenting on the platform that you're on. I'm an emergency physician, and as a physician, I see the challenges that our seniors face every day, impacting not only their health, but also their mental and social well-being. With this historic pandemic, COVID-19 is having a profound and long-term impact on our older adults, particularly our most vulnerable seniors. They have more risk factors and comorbidities that put them at grave risk from this infection. In fact, 8 out of every 10 deaths in the U.S. from COVID have been in this age group. As a result, our seniors are now more isolated and alone than ever before, delaying needed medical care, lacking regular social contact, and suffering terribly in terms of their health and wellness. Just this week on my past ER shift, I cared for an 82-year-old woman who had fallen. She had become increasingly weak and debilitated over the last several weeks. She was living alone, fearful of going out, unable to access the resources for her own nutrition, or able to socially connect with others. She came to our department as a last resort, anxious and scared, and unable to turn anywhere else. Her story is like so many others for our at-risk vulnerable seniors during this pandemic. This is why I'm so excited about today's announcement about the No Seniors Alone initiative that is so desperately needed in our region. To tell you more, I'm honored to introduce my good friend Bob Kelly, founder, president, and CEO of the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation.
Thank you very much, Ted, and welcome to all the people that are online and all the people that are here today. The graying of San Diego is coming. It's not a crisis right now, but the COVID-19 epidemic has brought the reality of this demographic shift to the forefront. And very soon we'll be confronted with the hard reality that 1 out of every 4 San Diegans will be over the age of 60. And guess what? We're not prepared for this current situation, nor have we planned for the unprecedented demographic shift. To help our region deal with the graying of San Diego, we launched a community foundation dedicated to seniors called the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation. It's the only one of its kind in the United States. The San Diego Seniors Community Foundation is dedicated to improving the vitality of all of our older adults in San Diego County. We want our older adults to be physically active, socially connected, and receive the care and necessities for a healthy, dynamic life. And we want every senior to have someone they can turn to and trust for their mental, physical, social, and financial health. Now, to put all of this in perspective, let me tell you about some numbers. Currently, we have about 500,000 people over the age of 65 living in San Diego. By 2030, not that far from now, we're going to have about 930,000 to 1 million seniors. Are we ready for that growth? We don't believe we are. On top of that, something is happening that we've never dealt with before, and that's the growth of senior elders or senior orphans. Currently, out of the 500,000 seniors in San Diego, an estimated 1/3 or 150,000 are senior orphans. Senior or elder orphans are people who have never been married, maybe married, but one of the spouses have passed away, or even the ones that have children, but the children live 3,000 miles away and they're alone. And again, are we ready for that type of growth? San Diego needs to understand that change is happening right in front of us and to work with the San Diego Senior Foundation to build the awareness of what's coming. We need to build the infrastructure, and we need to build a philanthropic support for the coming graying of San Diego. And something to remember, less than 3% of all charitable dollars goes to help seniors. We need to increase that percentage. Challenge is great, but we can make a difference. Today we are announcing the COVID-19 No Senior Alone initiative. an initiative that will focus on helping our isolated seniors. We are doing this because our local community senior centers and the senior not-for-profit community are overwhelmed with the need, and they are struggling to meet that demand. There are enormous mental and physical issues coming out of being isolated at home for months at a time. And all of us know that. All of us are going through it. But can you imagine being a senior orphan, being in your home alone since March? And think about coming up on the holidays. What a tough time it's going to be for so many of our seniors. We believe we can do better, and we will do better. So now I'd like to introduce a big supporter of the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation and a big supporter of seniors, Congressman Juan Vargas.
Thank you very much. It really is an honor to be here to support this organization, the San Diego Community, the San Diego Community Foundation, the San Diego Seniors Foundation. I have to say, unfortunately, seniors are alone these days in many instances. Very recently, a good friend of mine passed away. He was a photographer named Memo, and Memo was going to be buried here in National City. So we had a funeral service for him. It was outside. We all did our spacing as we were supposed to. We all wore our masks as we were supposed to. And everything was going along fine. There was a lot of emotion, of course, because Memo Cavada was beloved. And an elderly woman comes up to me, hugs me, and starts to cry. And I said to her, I said, don't worry. I said, you know, Memo's in a better place. You know, if anyone's going to make it to heaven, it's going to be Memo. He is a good guy. And she says, oh, I didn't know him. I thought, oh. And I said, oh, well, why are you here? And she goes, well, I could see you guys from here, and I haven't talked to anybody in weeks. And I recognized you from television, and you seemed nice. So I just wanted to come and say hello to see if you'd talk to me. I said, well, of course. And she was very, very nice, but I introduced her to a few people, especially one person I know who's very chatty, and they became friends, and they're going to talk at least by the phone. But she was in her house. She explained to me she was married. Her husband died. She had one son, unfortunately, who died in, I think he was like 30-some years old when he passed away. So she's the only one from her immediate family that's alive. And she doesn't have anyone to talk to. Financially, she's okay. She says she's making it with, you know, with what she has on Social Security, but she had no one to talk to. Literally hadn't talked to anybody, and just happened to see me and recognized this ugly mug and said, you know, I recognized you and I thought you would be a nice person. So anyway, she came and then made some friends there at the funeral. And that's why we absolutely need the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation to make sure that there is no senior left alone, because they are being left alone right now. And Doctor, you said it well, how many seniors, unfortunately, have succumbed to COVID and how isolated they feel at this moment. We can do better, and we are better than this. And that's why I'm here in my personal capacity as Juan Vargas to say, you know, I too am going to participate, and we too will donate it personally, not through the campaign, personally, to make sure that this works. Because again, there are many, many seniors right now who built this community, who built this city, who built this state, who built this nation, and are now alone. They deserve better, and we as a people are better. And I'm going to now introduce you to someone who is a lot better than most of us, Abigail Sahm, whose family foundation has been so generous, and she's here today to give us some exciting news. We're very excited to have you here, Abigail.
Hello, my name is Abigail Sahm. I'm here today to represent the Sahm Family Foundation, which was founded by my great-grandparents, Ramona and Roland Sahm, in 1997 in Rancho Santa Fe, California. For the past 23 years, our foundation has been supporting the welfare of seniors, children, and the arts. The legacy has continued with my father, who is the president and chairman of the board. His dedicated work to the well-being of seniors has motivated me to be a part of this project. The reason I chose to carry on this legacy is because what matters to my family matters to me. This generation is one that needs to be valued, protected, and not forgotten. The hard work and dedication of our great-grandparents and grandparents has benefited the generations that have followed. Together, as a foundation and as a community, we represent all generations, taking care of each other, and we become 3 generations strong. When the foundation started, my great-grandmother had already been deeply involved with helping children and the arts in San Diego County. When my great-grandfather joined in as a senior himself, he realized that many people of his generation needed help. Since then, we have continued to support seniors by funding meal programs, outreach programs, education and technology, and the overall well-being of each senior as an individual. This year has been especially difficult for seniors with the challenges of COVID. Nationally, there is a major shortage of philanthropy when it comes to senior programs and senior services. Here in San Diego, by 2030, we will have close to 1 million residents over the age of 60. That's a 130% increase since the year 2000. The Sahm Family Foundation is pleased to partner with the San Diego Senior Community Foundation with a matching grant of $500,000 to help raise $1 million to fund the senior-serving nonprofits in the area. We kindly invite leaders of the San Diego region to join us and ensure that San Diego leaves no senior alone. Please visit sdscf.org/COVID-19 to make your contribution. Thank you in advance for your support and our continued efforts to help seniors. Now I'm going to turn it over to Pam Smith, former Director of Aging and Independent Services, and is now a board member for San Diego Senior Community Foundation. Thank you for your time.
Hi, good morning. You know, 100 years ago, in 1920, excuse me, the average life expectancy in this country was about 44. It had moved up 47 through the wonderful work of the 20th century in medicine, health, nutrition, so many things. We now have gained an additional 30 years life for the average American. It's now 77, approaching 80. Back 100 years ago, we mostly lived on the farm in small towns. If you go to now, the majority of people live in cities. Families are spread across the country. People move for jobs. So now, all of a sudden, the older adult population has grown. We've added additional 30 years life for the average American. But now that we've figured out how to get everybody into old age, we don't know what to do with them. And it's one of the things that I think I saw in my years working at Aging and Independent Services is that we know people continue to need meaning and purpose in life. You still want to have worth. You still want to contribute. You don't want to be forgotten. And we haven't really grappled with how to do that. How do we keep older adults engaged? How do we see their value? How do we stay connected? And then how do we help support them as they age and need support services so that their later years can be with protection, health, and safety? As we started working on this through Aging and Independent Services, pre-COVID, what we knew was the number one problem for older adults was isolation. Because people get off alone and isolated, and they hesitate to call for help. They're proud, they've been independent, they don't want somebody to come and take them away or put them somewhere they don't want to be. So we have worked diligently to build a network in San Diego, senior centers, nonprofits, government, to start building a system that could better support and value our older adults. But it's still been behind in terms of where we should be. And then COVID hits, and this same population has been devastated. As Dr. Chan said, just the health perspective of what's happening. Older adults are more fearful now. Now, no one is coming to visit because they can't. Their families can't travel. There is a digital divide with older adults, as there are with kids we're seeing with education now. How do we now reach out to them in their home, even FaceTime, join a class, do telehealth? How can we let them know we do care about them? Isolation is the biggest threat to your physical well-being, but it is by far the biggest threat to your mental well-being. And that's why this effort that we are now saying, how are we going to step forward? Because this isn't going to be over fast. And the problem was there before COVID. How can we learn from this? How can we create systems where we're better reaching older adults and connecting with them as we go forward? So it truly will be a new norm. It's been a great joy to be part of this San Diego Senior Community Foundation and the work that's been done in connecting with senior centers around the counties, with nonprofits that are doing the work, listening to their needs. How can we best serve? What does the future look like? And so now to be able to know that we have got to step up in a philanthropic way and say, we've got to help fill these gaps and build a better future for now and there. And so many thanks to the Sahm Foundation for this very generous start, which really means for all of us, and I too, Congressman Vargas, am going to personally donate for all of us. That is a big match to get there and help us not just deal with the issue now, but to really plan a new future for our older adults. So thank you. I hope everybody can reach into, and knowing that the Community Foundation has done a lot of work where those dollars can best be spent in this community. And so for many of us out there, we know the problem's real, we want to help, but how can I best place my dollar to do that? Well, this is a wonderful opportunity to not only get the match, but to go to an organization that can really help those community organizations do the work they need to do. So with that, I'd like to introduce we're here at the Norman Park Senior Center in Chula Vista, which is a beautiful senior center. The city has always been very supportive about serving seniors, and now we're outside, but they've just done a remodel of their facility. They're looking forward to get back in there, and they've been an innovative leader in this area. So I'm very pleased to introduce Erin Ruiz, who is the supervisor and runs this Norman Park Senior Center.
Thank you very much, Pam. Pam was actually on the board that helped build Norman Park Senior Center, so it comes full circle. I welcome everybody to Chula Vista, and I welcome everybody to our senior center here, the Norman Park Senior Center. And like Pam said, we are excited to announce all of the renovations that we made: new furniture, new flooring, restrooms that are made specifically for seniors to make life easier. And the only sad part is that we can't enjoy it right now, because if we look back at March 13th, when we had to close, we closed the senior center, but it was tough for all of the seniors that we serve. And we quickly realized how important senior centers are, because senior centers are the place where we give you the excuse to get out of your home, and that is the most important thing. The most important thing for a senior is to get out of the house. We need to offer programs. We need to give the seniors an excuse so that they can come not just to a senior center, but out in society, because the isolation, that's where the isolation kicks in. What we're doing as a city, I'm very proud to announce that we have kept our seniors close to us. Out of our over 400 members that visit the Norman Park Senior Center, we are doing the senior welfare checks. We are calling them once, twice a week. Some of them don't want us to call once or twice a week, and that's okay. But it's very important just to hear a voice, just to see how they're doing. When we were asking seniors to stay home for their own health and well-being, well, it was hard for them just to get a prescription drug or to get food. And so we started our food distribution. And so with a hotline given by the city, a senior could call, or a family member could call, and we would personally deliver a box of food for that senior. So we have been a tremendous advocate to continue to keep our seniors close to us. And like I said, we are very excited to hopefully one day in the near future, we can forecast that this pandemic can end and we can get back into our senior center so that we can show off all of its beauty. But I will reiterate that we quickly found out that there is a huge tech gap. And that tech gap is what's been affecting our seniors. we go on Instagram, we go on Facebook, and that's how we get our stories. Seniors are not they're not equipped for that. They didn't grow up like that. And so we quickly found out that they were not going to probably see their doctor because they don't know how to work the telehealth system. And so with that, that's going to be what we're going to be pushing. And I know the city's partnering with T-Mobile to be able to get some Wi-Fi hotspots to seniors. And so we're proud to announce that. We need to be able to help connect them to us. So thank you all for being here. I have one of our cherished seniors here, Mr. Luis Monje, who also serves on the senior legislature, California senior legislature, Mr. Luis Monje.
Well, thank you everyone for being here in wonderful Chula Vista. I have lived here for 40 years, believe it or not, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for any place in the world. But I'll let you know that I have been involved with the senior community with the Aging and Independent Services Advisory Council for the last 12 years, and have been a member of the California Senior Legislature as a senior legislator for the last 13 years. These are two organizations that deal strictly with senior issues. If we go back 35 years, when the California Senior Legislature was created by Assemblyman Mello from the Salinas area, he is the one that started this organization. 35 years ago, seniors did not have all these senior centers and services and all these other benefits that we have now. One of the things that I have found that is very crucial for seniors is the isolation issue. Isolation is something that if you become a couch potato, your chances of survival are very minimal. You need to get involved, go outside, talk to your neighbor, or walk the block, enjoy the scenery, look at the sun, the rain, the birds, whatever is out there. Don't let your brain betray you. Go out there and become somebody, a member of the community. You might not be a Mr. So-and-so, but every member of this community or any community in this country or the world is a piece of the action of the world. We all belong to this world. We all need to enjoy it, and we all need to have the services. The services that have been provided by all these agencies and all these wonderful agencies and people that are involved in making sure that the senior community is addressed is a blessing. I think that we should give thanks to all these wonderful organizations in what they do, because what they do is totally, the government cannot fund all these programs. We as seniors also have the responsibility. If you're given instructions by your medical providers and your people that are taking care of you, you need to make sure that you have a good nutrition, you do exercise, you socialize, you get involved, do something. Even if you just take care of your grandkid and you mentor him in school and what have you, we seniors have a lot of experience to share with our children, our families, and our members of the community. For that reason, I want to thank all these wonderful organizations for what they're doing. The senior community needs all your support. As Pam mentioned, our senior community in the 1920s, it was 40-some years. Now it's twice as much. And now we have what I call the silver tsunami. It's coming, and we're going to need more resources than anybody can come up with. This is why we all have to get involved, including the ones that are receiving all these services. We all work together, and we can address this issue the best we can. And I hope that the Almighty will give us the energy and the services and the economic situation to get out of this rut, and hopefully we can survive and prevail. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Louise, and thanks for all the work you do for seniors throughout the state of California. That's fabulous. We're at the end of the program. I want to thank all of the speakers for coming out today and giving us their perspective on what's going on. I do want to remind everybody, especially all the people watching on YouTube, that don't forget to contribute. It's SDSCF.org. And get on the website. You can see some of the other projects and programs that we're working on with regards to senior centers. Now we have the opportunity for questions. There's for the people that are watching streaming live, submit your questions, and we'll give it a shot to answer those questions. I do want to say again, thanks to the Sahm Family Foundation to really make this thing happen. A couple of other big supporters, the Gary and Mary West Foundation and the Del Mar Health Foundation. They've been absolutely fabulous in helping support the development of this senior community foundation and this initiative. So with that, do we have any questions? If not, currently we have about a third of the population of seniors are what they call senior elders or senior orphans. And currently here in San Diego, that's about 150,000. So, and going forward, with you think about 1 million seniors in the year 2030, about a third of that, 250, 330,000 will be potentially senior senior orphans or elder orphans. So it's going to be a significant community issue for us to deal with. I like to always give an example about in biology, it's called the lily pad effect. So you go by a lily pond and you see a couple of lily pads, come back a couple of weeks, there's a few more, come back in a month, almost the whole pond is gone. It's completely covered by lily pads. That's the same thing. All of this is happening right in front of our eyes. We don't really truly understand the impact of having the growth of these seniors and the growth of senior orphans. So it's time to step up to the plate and help this situation. Yes, this is a county-wide effort from Camp Pendleton all the way down to San Ysidro to the border, all the way out to the backcountry, including Borrego Springs. Absolutely. Yes, Aaron mentioned a couple. It's calling seniors. So a couple of the projects that have been proposed is actually expanding the programs at some of the senior centers where they can hire some more staff, recruit more volunteers, and have more people calling seniors on a regular basis to check in, to see how they're doing, trying to get them connected to some other resources. Another idea that a group has come up with is doing pop-up concerts. They want a van. They want to bring all their equipment. They could set up in a park like this and invite all of the community seniors and have a pop-up concert by some, the San Diego Symphony, the opera, or whatever. So that's just a couple of examples. There are a lot more that are out there. iPads, purchasing iPads or tablets for lower income seniors, and then training them how to use it, and then helping them get internet, because a lot of the seniors don't have internet, and then they'd be able to connect via the internet, connect with their families, connect with friends, which a number of seniors are not able to do right now because they don't have the equipment nor the internet. So there's some really innovative, interesting ideas that are starting to pop up that through this initiative and through the $1 million that we hope to quote raise, we'll be able to grant out to these agencies.
The question was whether we've seen a significant drop in seniors coming in for healthcare, and we definitely have, and that's been recorded across the country that seniors are they're anxious about coming into healthcare facilities and delaying care. That's been reported nationwide. And so healthcare facilities are relatively safe now. So I do want to assure seniors that it's safe to go in and see your doctor, and there are a lot of precautions being taken across all health systems right now to make sure that people are safe and can get the care that they need in a timely manner.
Well, thanks for your time. It's an exciting initiative. we're going to be able to do some really good stuff to help our community. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your time.